Hey guys, we're waiting a few minutes for everyone to join, about 5 minutes or so. Let me know if you can hear me and type in the chat, say hello. Hey guys, just in case you didn't hear me before, we're waiting a few minutes and we'll start soon. Let me know if the audio is good, if you want louder or not. Hey guys, looks like a lot of people are here already. That's good to see. So I don't know if everyone is familiar with our team at BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com. So we're gonna talk about that before we get started, and we can take some questions as well in the end. So, but if you have any questions already, you can also post them, and I will look and try to answer. So we start with BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com, which is the place we do reviews and bring you all the articles that you read. For example, the series I've started, a chat with a trader. We interview some of the traders that we have on BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com, or rather in the forum, CommuniTraders forum, which is here. These traders, we interview the ones who are in the members war room. They're keeping their trading diaries, and we pick the ones who are doing good. They're learning, and we want them to share their stories with you guys. So we do those interviews. We have done a few of those, and there are more upcoming, like interview with Milo, one of the traders who started binary options pretty much at the same time I did. We also do a lot of reviews on these robots. Most of them, or pretty much all of them, are typically no good and they're scams, but we review them nevertheless, so you learn to avoid. We get some tips from other traders like Michael and other funny articles or informative articles. So you can also get your broker reviews. You need to compare broker reviews, see which one are good. Most of the traders are using 24 option, ARX. They're here. I have the platforms I'm going to talk to you about, but let's check out the forum as well for those of you who are not members yet. I know some of you who just found us on YouTube, for example, you're not members, or found us on Facebook. You should become a member if you have a good community. And this is here people share their they share the analysis, like in the diaries you can find traders that you like their methods. For example, they love trading 5 minutes or 15 minutes or end of day, or some of them are news traders, some of them are or most of them are actually looking at price action now, because they can see the other people's diaries and see that they come further with price action, so they also join and share their analysis. We can take a look at a few. We have lots and lots of diaries. This is Bosby, the one that you saw the chat with a trader. It's called Hazy. For example, if you look at his diary, you will definitely learn a thing or two. You will see it started slow, but then he started learning. And you can see, if you log in, you can see the pictures and analysis that he does, and the help that he got also from us, other traders, and how it improved his trading. So do that, become a member, it's free, and you can also get a free demo account. It's here, just click trade and you will see. So what about the brokers? You can read the reviews. Click here to read the reviews, see which ones are good. There are a comment section can be also found at the bottom, so you can read other people's stories. And so for example, what about the brokers? What do you guys know about brokers? Something that's important is that you check the platforms before you select one. You want to know if it's good for you, and a lot of them are different. For example, 24 Option has a new platform. This is their new platform. It looks really good. I mean, the design is pretty much like the Tech Financial they had before. It's a new platform. They made it themselves lately, and they modified it to match the CySEC's new rules with the quotes and everything. So as you can see, the quotes are announced. You can also close your trade immediately. You got 3 seconds to close, and I found that very helpful to close my trades immediately, because sometimes you enter a trade, especially for us who love short term, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes even. So you can get a good entry. You see price is constantly moving, so when you enter a trade and it suddenly shoots up, you can cancel it immediately and wait for a better entry. So I love that about 24 Option. Also, they have lots of expiries pretty much every 5 minutes, as you can see, all the way to end of day, end of week, end of month. And I prefer them, and you have lots of assets to choose from, and the short term. Also, they introduced something with the 100% payouts. You also have the Forex CFD, so if you also want to try that, if you get good with price action, I would say you could absolutely do good on Forex and CFD as well. So that's the key. And then we got StockPair. I know some of you are with StockPair. So pretty much every broker has something, a positive pros and cons. So you may like some of them for one thing, but not for other types of trading. I know StockPair, when you select long term, they have different payouts. You can see that if you go 7 days, 70%, 15 minutes. Here you got the payouts vary, and they got 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 5 minutes. So their platform looks a little bit different. They got the arrows up and down, but once you learn the layout of one of them, it gets easier to understand the others. And some of you who love AirX, for example, this is a demo account I've been trying. You start with 1,000 and you can work yourself up or down if you don't know how to trade. So you can see here some assets are not available. Only on real account you can get those. So it's a nice platform. You can switch, you can get candlestick charts, but I still recommend you have a MetaTrader chart like I have in the background here. So we're gonna talk about that too shortly. So any questions so far about the things I have said? Is it obvious for most of you, or you have any question? Are you how many are currently not with a broker yet, or still searching, or very new to binary options? How many? So just for the guys who are watching this offline, this is a live webinar. We take some questions. We go through our team at BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com and CommuniTraders, our forum where traders meet and discuss trading and improve their trading together. So if you're watching this offline, be sure to tune in next time where we are online. So any questions so far about brokers? Who is completely new to trading here to binary options? You can type in the chat to the right or below. Somewhere on your screen you have a chat. You can type and say, hey, I'm new, I have a question. So let me know. So in the meantime, we're gonna go. So I got Ingmar, who is also in my own Skype group. He's doing very good with price action. He's been trading for a year. How about you guys? I know Milo from the team. What about you, Prince or Darren? How long have you guys been trading? Gilbert, Wayne, you guys, how long have you been trading? And what strategies are you using, guys? What strategies and brokers? 2 years, okay. IQ option, any other? Okay, so let's move on with charting. It's important you have a chart. Price action, good. I see a lot of people using price action. I think pretty much everyone who found our YouTube channel know this by now, that you gotta have price action to get successful. You gotta have price action in your backbone. Okay, Darren, you're not on a real account yet. That could be good because you want to see that you are successful first before you go to a live account. So demo trading, you can do that on CommuniTraders platform or one of the brokers that offer them for free. So what about MetaTrader? Why do we need a chart? Why not just use the broker's chart? I found it better to have a chart that you can do full analysis on. So you can do that on multiple platforms like TradingView. So which platforms do you guys prefer? I like MetaTrader. There is Netdania. I like that to use that on the phone, on the mobile. But MetaTrader 4 is for me the best. Why 4? Why not MetaTrader 5? A lot of people ask me that because the thing is, I also do a lot of reviews, so I must try out indicators and strategies to do reviews about, and using MetaTrader is better because most of these things are made for a program for MetaTrader 4 and not MetaTrader 5. So if you want to do price action naked charting, any chart is pretty much good for you, so long as you have lines, you can draw lines and do the basic technical analysis. And what are the basic technical analysis that you have to know as a beginner? Again, a lot of those are already mentioned, and advanced techniques in the playlist called Price Action playlist. You will see a lot of trading there using price action. And okay, I get a tip from Ingmar about a lot of Mac users obviously have problems with MetaTrader. They can't install it, or it's just a pain to install that. So for Mac users, Ingmar is saying he's using Trade Interceptor app, and it's great for Mac users. So it's for charting, just to be clear. So he's not a robot or something like that. So what about your charts? Why do you need charts? Because you have to do analysis. You have to see what where the market, where the traders in the real market are pushing the prices up or down, and those people are using the same techniques that we do. They look at the basic technical analysis. And what are those? What are the basic technical analyzers again? So basic stuff is supply and demand, and you can see that using support and resistance lines. So that's very important. You can read about that at BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com. Just just search on BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com for support and resistance, and you will find good articles. And also just check out the price action playlist. You will learn a lot from that. So basically, we try to look for levels that have been tested many times to see where the potential support or resistance is. So one resistance becoming support, and so on. So this is the most basic technical analysis, support and resistance. Now drawing those can be very difficult for beginners. You don't know where to draw them, but with some experience you can do that. And when you do accurate support resistance based on good amount of supply and demand, so you can get more accurate trades, better entries. Any questions so far? Okay. So, and what is the next tool when it comes to technical analysis that's gonna help you trade better? It's trend lines. So how do most beginners draw trend lines? They just try to connect highs and lows like this. So it's the most basic trend line analysis, and it might seem very pretty useless at first when you're a beginner. Like, why do I need to do this? I already can see that with the naked eyes. But the thing is, when you start to see more advanced patterns, it becomes much better to use trend lines, like we have been doing on okay, I get a question about entries. Yeah, we're gonna respond to that pretty soon. Actually, I'm glad you asked that. That's something that confuses a lot of traders. So trend lines, you can see here what you are looking for basically are points that you can connect. So 1 point, 2, 3 points, and then you see the breakout here. Of course, we have another line. You see, you can always draw multiple lines. Based on highs and lows pretty much. So this Euro USD now, it's getting resistance, might come back down and bounce off of this line instead. So most traders get confused about multi-timeframe analysis. So I get that question from Darren. I get confused going from different time frames to entry. So what is the purpose of different time frames? Who can answer that question? Why do we even look at different time frames? Why not just look at the 1 minute chart? I tell you why. Because you are looking for details and patterns and strength in support, resistance, and trend lines. And to do that, sometimes you have to switch time frames. I mean, what we see here on the 4 hour, why am I watching 4 hour? Why not the monthly charts? Because this is the formation I get here. This could have been the 5 minute time frame. It wouldn't have mattered. If this was the 5 minute time frame, I would have drawn these lines on the 5 minute time frame and used that to trade. So how do we use this to entry? People, for those of you who are in my group, you have already seen that because we have already used this. We used this yesterday. We used this today. We said that, for example, yesterday when price closed here, started moving up. We used that, or this was Monday already, sorry. So we started trading towards this line here. Why? Because we had a target, we had a strong target. We saw EURUSD was bullish, so we went down. We could use the 5-minute time frame, which I did. We could use the 1-minute time frame, which I also did, because we knew, okay, it's going up towards our target that we have on the 4-hour, which is a strong target. But if you don't look at that, you wouldn't have known what's going on in the market. Is it just making a 5-minute high and then it's going to drop or not? But since we know the stronger support is holding, so what you're trying to do basically is to break down the market into sections. This is what we did. Okay, so we break it down. We got this section from here. We see now it broke the line, it made a retracement. So when you do that, it becomes more clear to you what's going on in the market. For example, today it broke down, started moving down, then you know, okay, it's moving down towards my next target. And these targets can be plotted on multiple time frames. For example, I'm going to show you another asset, a trade we took live actually yesterday using such trend lines, which was in this area here. We move down, so here if you look at it on the 4-hour, it's hard to plot the trend line. You see it's hard to adjust the line to find the breakout that we used. But when we move down the time frames, let's move down a little bit, and this is when it becomes clearer. So let's move down a little bit more. Think it was in this region, if I remember correctly. If you guys who were in the group and took this, you might remember better than me where exactly it was, but it was a breakout nevertheless. We used the trend line, quite simple. We took the trade. I think it was adjusted higher like this, and it retraced back up. So why do we take this? Again, we used the higher time frame as well. Why? Because we knew there was going to be some support in this region and price was falling. So when you do that, when you use multiple time frames like this, you will know approximately what price is going to do. Okay, so it fell from this place, it was moving down, so where is it going? And then you look on different time frames, you see how it's leveling down. You see the support here, right? You see the support, so you know, okay, price probably heading that way, so let's try to trade towards that. And you can do that on the lower time frames using breakouts or lower highs in this case to trade towards that area. So that's the answer to your question about multi-time frame analysis. Any other questions? So how to get better at this? Pretty much you just need exposure. You need lots of exposure. You need to do this every day. So bring up a chart, start drawing lots of lines, and hopefully you get better at it. You see the pattern. Some people learn that faster. They start seeing the patterns much quicker, and you can see them on all time frames. Some people need longer exposure before they can understand these things. And also got a question about news. Well, so basically most trades that I do are within the hour or even within 30 minutes. Sometimes I do longer also, but end of day is possible, so I've done that. I don't normally do longer because a lot of things can affect the price. It can be some president or a Brexit or an election somewhere that can ruin the outcome of the trade. Even though your analysis is correct, it might get screwed because of a big news event. So some people like to do longer expires, and when you do that, then you have to be better at reading the news. Then you have to know, okay, that President blah blah is talking on Friday, then maybe I need to have my expiry on Thursday, because if he says this or that instead of this or that, it's gonna go the other way. Like the French election a few weeks ago, we saw that on the euro. You can actually see it, the big gap here. This is why we have the big gap. If you look at it, so pretty much in this region here we had a resistance approximately there, and if you look at it, what happened, it opened up here instead, so price skipped all this. So this was pretty much meant to continue but it didn't, you see, because during the weekend you had the French election, and then prices opened up there. So in this case, obviously if you had a long call, might have worked out for you, just out of luck, but this could have been the opposite. If Le Pen had got more votes, then this probably would have been the opposite. So price would have opened maybe down here instead and got up here and then stayed there. So this is why these things are important to notice when you do long-term expiries. So another question, which brokers are good after 24 option? Well, again, it's kind of up to you, but you should have a regulated broker that pays out. I prefer 24 option over any other broker, but obviously a good broker with a good reputation also. This one demands higher deposits, higher minimum investment per trade, which means you need a higher deposit to have good leverage. So, but on the other hand, you know you're gonna get your money. You know you're gonna have a variety of assets, a large variety of assets, a good platform where you can close your trades, and it's fast. It doesn't tell you, oh, we couldn't execute your trade because there is volatility and such. Comments that you get on other some issues that you find on other brokers, you seldom find that on this on the 24 option platform. So I haven't tried out all the brokers, obviously, but you can look for some reviews on BinaryOptionsthatSucks.com and then ask people. We have a forum, we have a broker discussions thread. So your best bet is actually other traders. If you go to our forum and you go to broker discussions, you can also make a new thread if there isn't any already. See, we have multiple discussions about lots of brokers, and you can ask, like, these are what I need for a broker, which ones are you guys using, and ask for their help. So you can have tips from someone who's already using that broker, can tell you, oh, this is good with them. Okay, I got another question. Does the broker make money if we lose? Brokers make money regardless of when you lose or win. That's the thing with brokers, especially binary options brokers. When you deposit and if you make money, obviously they're making a cut because someone else is also losing, but they're also making a cut when you win. So someone wins $100, or someone invests $100 and you invest $100. So if he loses, you get the 80% of his money, and the rest of that goes to the broker, the 20%, or 25, or 15, or 10 sometimes. And then what happens if both of you lose? Well, then if both of you lose, and a lot of traders lose. Most of the traders don't know price action. They don't spend a year to learn charting. I mean, how many traders have a year of experience, thousands of hours of charting before they deposit 5K in a broker? None. And that's why you see so many stories. Oh, I lost 5K, 10K, 50K. Because, I mean, did you expect to become a millionaire in 1 month? And they say, yeah, I expected to get 10 times my money because my broker told me that. And you should treat your broker as a salesman, like a car salesman. They want to sell you, they want to have your money, you want to have their money. So that's the business we're in. We're traders, we want their money, they want our money. So do your own analysis, do your own trading, spend a lot of time learning and charting, and you're not gonna become that guy who lost his house because he didn't know how to trade and deposited 50K first day on all in one trade. Yes, of course, there is a conflict of interest, and actually, if you read their terms and conditions, they tell you that they tell you that we have a conflict of interest policy. Most brokers today have that because thanks to SISEC, they already have to mention that. So if you look at any broker, your first thing to do should be to read their terms and conditions. So don't come back and say, oh, they charged me $80 for this because I was gone for 6 months. Well, maybe if you read the terms and conditions, you would see they have a dormant account fee. Most brokers do that nowadays because some people obviously leave the money and just disappear for a while. So read that. There is a lot of things you should know. You're making a business. It's like buying something, a house. You got to investigate. So is there a conflict of interest? Of course. But most traders are losing again, so is that frightening for you? No, I mean, it's the same thing with Forex, and Forex has been around for what? Decades after decades. The same thing, people lose. Most people lose their money, and it goes in the brokers' pockets. That's why you see so many brokers, because most traders are not coming into market expecting to learn first. Most traders come in expecting to make big bucks because of all the advertisement, all the exaggerated advertisement, all these YouTube videos. You see 89% winning strategy in 5 minutes, you're gonna make 10 times your money. So they buy into that deposit and they lose. And for me, as a trader who already has experience, is not frightening for me. I'm thinking, good, well, my broker is gonna have money to pay me when I make money, because most others are losing. In fact, it would be frightening if most traders were winning. If 90% of the traders were winning, I would be like, okay, they're not gonna have money to pay me when I win. So no, it's actually the opposite. However, I wouldn't trust the broker when they give me tips. They're like, do this or that with your account. I would say, no, you're just an account manager. Your job is to handle my withdrawals, and if I have any issues, nothing else. Exactly. So you gotta go with a broker that is big enough to have money to pay you, been in the market a long time, and it's regulated. So you got a lot of these no-name brokers that don't have enough cash, and you can see that their maximum investment is also lower usually because they can't afford, and they will block your trades, some of them. So that's how it is. About 24 options, yes, no problem. Usually they pay me within 4 days because I have Skrill. It goes faster, much faster. Before that, I had deposited using credit card, so that would take a long time. It would take about 2 weeks because, withdrawals to your bank takes longer time, because even if they release your money after 4 days, then it's the weekends, and then your own bank's gonna take another 3 days before they process that. So it might take a couple of weeks, but due to AML policies, anti-money laundering, you have to withdraw in the same method you deposited. So if you want to deposit with a broker, I recommend you use e-booker and e-wallet like Try to use PayPal or use Skrill if they allow it, or Netel or something, instead of your credit card, because also you won't have to. How's the sound right now? Okay. Let me know if you can't hear me. So use something other than your credit card when you deposit, because again, AML policy is gonna have you withdraw from the same method. So if you deposit a large amount, and it's gonna take you maybe several months before you can make up that amount, and you don't want to be withdrawing to bank. I had to do that for a while. It was so boring having to type your credit card info every time. But then I eventually withdrew everything I had deposited and started using Skrill instead, and it was much faster, much better service. So do that. Keep that in mind. But also use the same currency. So if you open an account in US dollar, then your Skrill could also be US dollar, so you don't have to pay exchange fees. So that's that, guys. Good questions. And so I know some of you also want to see live trading and learning. You can learn a lot in CommuniTraders forum. We also have a paid Skype group you can join. Some of the members, you have already met them in the chat, and we can learn and trade together. So if you wish to join me, I have some videos about the Skype group. You can check that out. And again, read up. We have good reviews. We've looked up on every review on if you go to our broker reviews, if you're worried, you can also read about their warnings, like if they got any warnings from an authority, like was CISEC giving them any warnings. You can see 24 option got the French warning by AMF once, and then you can compare with other brokers. Some of them have a large list of warnings, and then you know that's not good. And you can read why they got warned, so you would know if it's bad or not, if they got fined or not, and stuff like that. So we do thorough analysis, thorough research on the brokers. And also, again, come and ask our members, join the forum, say hello. You will learn a lot. Open your trading diary. Let us help you. And you can also help yourself by just analyzing your own trades. Look at other people's diaries. Compare what are they doing that worked for them. Hey, maybe I can try the same thing. And again, if you still struggle, join us, join our group. And that's that. So any final questions? And if not, we will wrap this up. Thanks for joining. You can see previous webinars, and also don't forget, if you want more technical stuff, more learning, watch the price action playlist I've made. And also some of the recent videos. I've made a lot of naked charting, showed you how we traded some of the signals together using technical analysis like trend lines, support resistance lines, and such, currency correlation. So thanks for the interest, thanks for the question. I think it's time to wrap it up. Hopefully I see you in the CommuniTraders forum. We can get to know each other, and see you in your diary. Thanks everyone. Have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos. Thank you.